A cell phone shop targeted, the brazen robbery that has police looking for suspects.
He's only 8 months old, yeah, so luckily, he's still here, though.
A Hampton Roads family asking for the community's help. What you can do to save a baby's life using something most people take for granted. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Erin Miller in for Todd Carrillo. Severe storms are looking possible, meaning a noisy wake-up call. It may be coming in the morning. Chief Meteorologist Patrick Rockies in the First Warning Weather Center tracking a mean line of storms heading our way. So, Patrick, when can we expect the worst of it?
Well, unfortunately, it's while a lot of folks are sleeping. We're talking 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning is when we expect the worst of this line. And you can see we've got severe thunderstorm warnings in effect all the way from Pennsylvania to South Carolina. That's the boxes there in yellow. The red here is a tornado watch that's in effect. It's none of that's in our area, but this line is heading in our direction. So we're keeping a very close eye on this. We are at a level 2 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center, meaning scattered severe storms are possible, even a tornado. So we're going to be watching this line. It does have a history of producing tornadoes. Here's the timing. You see the time at the top of your screen. Next couple of hours, everything's going to be very quiet. As we head toward 3 o'clock in the morning, you see the storms are still west of I-95, but beginning to push in. So between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, they start to move into the peninsulas and inland portions of Virginia and North Carolina. Between 4 and 5 to the south side and into the coastal North Carolina, that's 5 o'clock in the morning. We see the worst of it around the Elizabeth City area toward the northern Outer Banks. By 6 o'clock, all the storms are offshore, just a few lingering showers. And by 7 o'clock, as a lot of folks head out for the commute, we're going to start the day with sunshine, just a little on the breezy side. So for this evening, next couple of hours will be quiet, but then the storms roll in overnight, and those should end by daybreak. We'll start the day with temperatures in the mid-60s. We'll talk a lot more about the storms on the way and talk about our next batch of storms coming up in your First Warning 7-day forecast.
We'll stay on top of storms on air and online. Don't forget to download the News 3 app. It's the best way to get instant updates on the forecast and the First Warning weather on any weather alerts. It's free to download at wtkr.com/apps. Tonight, a man is recovering after being stabbed outside of a convenience store. The stabbing happened outside of the Tiny Giant on Sewell's Point Road in Norfolk. Medics took the victim to Centera Norfolk General Hospital and believe that he'll be okay. If you have any information about this incident, call police. And Virginia Beach police are trying to track down the crooks who robbed a Verizon wireless store this afternoon. They say the suspect demanded the clerk give him merchandise and then ran away. No customers were in the store at the time of the robbery. News 3 spoke with a man who works next door and heard about what happened from a Verizon Wireless employee.
Basically didn't hear anything going on. I looked outside, there's a bunch of cops in the parking lot, and was wondering what happened. Asked an employee what happened, and he said that they had got robbed at gunpoint, and we didn't see anything happen whatsoever. They were super slick about it and literally didn't cause a scene or anything.
The case is now under investigation by the department's robbery unit. And a man is out of his home tonight after a fire damaged it in the Indian River section of Chesapeake. Neighbors say they saw smoke coming out of the back of his home shortly before 3 o'clock this afternoon. When firefighters got there, they discovered heavy smoke coming from the attic. The man was not home at the time of the fire, but sadly a dog did get hurt. We're told the homeowner is staying with family right now. An 8-month-old Virginia Beach boy with a rare bone marrow disease has been fighting for his life since he was born. But now he's getting a second chance because of a life-saving bone marrow transplant. Tonight, News 3 reporter Kofa Lasaki spoke to them. So, Kofa, what did they have to say?
Erin, most people don't think about signing up for a bone marrow registry, but the DeMartis family hopes that people who hear Jackson's story will give it a second thought.
Oh, it's so bright. You don't really come outside.
Baby Jackson is taking it all in.
Where are you? Huh? Where are you?
The sights and sounds of nature most people take for granted.
There's your smile. There it is. I see it.
Jackson rarely gets to experience.
He's only 8 months old, yeah, so luckily, he's still here, though, and we've been fortunate that we come home from the hospital, but, yeah, it's tough.
To be so small and to go through so much.
We only leave for doctor's appointments. He gets blood transfusions every 3 weeks to survive, so we go to the hospital for that, and then hospitalizations when he gets sick.
Jackson has a rare bone marrow disease.
Diamond-Blackfan anemia, it's shortened into DBA.
His body can't fight off bacteria, so he gets daily shots to stimulate his own bone marrow, but they're not working anymore.
Just a simple cough or sneeze might carry a germ to him that could land him in the hospital or or even kill him.
Less than 2 weeks ago, he was in a hospital with a fever, fighting for his life.
He's at the age where he's becoming more aware of his surroundings, so living inside all of the time and keeping him in a protected bubble is getting more difficult.
But that could all change. The Dramatis family is heading to Cincinnati next month so Jackson can get a bone marrow transplant. It's the reason they're so passionate about telling people to see if they can become a bone marrow donor.
Just a simple cheek swab. They don't even have to draw your blood. I encourage everyone that we talk to get on the registry because you could potentially save Jackson's life or any child or adult's life.
As for little Jackson, well, nothing is guaranteed.
I think about, in a year from now, next summer, we could be out in the backyard playing with Jackson. We could be having a barbecue with friends. He can finally meet his family members.
But the future is looking much brighter. And if you want to see if you can be a bone marrow donor, you can go online to wtkr.com. We have a link to how you can get information in the mail. Kofo Lasaki, News 3.
Help the Isle of Wight County Sheriff's Office take action by tracking down these 3 suspects in Carrollton. Deputies say these suspects on your screen were captured on surveillance video attempting to use stolen credit cards in Carrollton and Portsmouth. The owner of the cards say they were snatched from his vehicle along with his cell phone. If you know anything, you're encouraged to call the Sheriff's Office. Police in Newport News are heading to a community struck by violence. They're organizing a community walk in the Aqueduct Apartments neighborhood on Monday afternoon. This comes after 25-year-old Christian Brown was shot and killed there Saturday morning. There's no suspect information at this time. Police are asking anyone with information to call the crime line at 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. Tomorrow marks 1 year since a Portsmouth teen went missing. Selena Salazar disappeared from her adopted home in the middle of the night last April. Shortly after her disappearance, her adopted mother told News 3 that she was worried Selena was possibly communicating with a man online. She was just 13 years old at the time. In the past, Portsmouth police have called this a runaway case, once saying they don't believe there's anything suspicious with her disappearance. Police say Selena was last seen on Tremont Court. Tuesday is a major milestone for a fixture of the downtown Norfolk waterfront. It was 75 years ago on Tuesday that the USS Wisconsin was commissioned, kicking off decades of service to the Navy and country. These days, the Wisconsin is a floating museum dedicated to telling the stories of generations of sailors who served on America's last great battleship.
Serving on board a battleship that had previously served in World War II and then in the Korean War and had just been brought back into service as President Reagan was working towards the 600-ship Navy was an immense honor and privilege.
Monday on News 3 at 6, Todd Carrillo shows us the role the Wisconsin has played in the history of the United States and here in Hampton Roads and how her story is still being told 75 years later. New details tonight about the first rooftop helicopter landing at Centera Norfolk General. The hospital recently built 2 new rooftop helicopter landing pads in order to quickly move patients to needed care. A crew from Elizabeth City Coast Guard performed the first landing just a few days ago, and hospital workers practiced safely transferring patients from the aircraft to the emergency department. The hospital hopes the pad designed to accommodate military helicopters will be ready for full operation next month. Well, it looks like something aliens might have transported to Earth, and it's right here in Norfolk. It's part of a presentation by Nauticus. It's called the Albacilla Luminarium in celebration of the venue's 25th birthday. The walk-through art experience is a massive labyrinth in which visitors are immersed in a maze of light, shapes, and colors. The multicolored pods that you see on your screen are located at the MacArthur Center Green. That's at the corner of Freemason Street and Monticello Ave.
We're just trying to give people an opportunity to explore colour and light in a different way. So we really encourage people to come in and to sit down and lie down and immerse themselves in the colour.
If you didn't get a chance to check it out today, don't worry. The project will be around until next Sunday. People in Newport News have the chance to relive historic moments surrounding the Civil War siege of Yorktown today. Historians portrayed either military or civilian individuals associated with the spring 1862 events that brought troops to our area. Spectators could visit the Lee Hall Mansion, which served as Confederate General John Magruder's headquarters. This is where the general and his staff gathered intelligence on the Union Army, relayed orders, and maintained the army in the field.
History is right in your backyard, and you can see it all around you. Not just something that's out of a textbook, but it's something that surrounds us, and it was a major event that happened that shaped our country.
The historic siege was recreated along the Warwick River at Endview Plantation, Lee Hall Mansion, and Newport News Park. We're just getting started here tonight, recovering from tornadoes and bracing for severe weather. Still to come, we take you to the hardest hit areas and explore how people are recovering as millions remain at risk.
And it looks like this line of storms is going to move in and out pretty quickly overnight, but I'll let you know when to expect more storms coming up in your first warning 7-day forecast.